Do you ever watch a cow peacefully chewing its cud and wonder why it's doing that? Or maybe you've seen a goat munching on a twig and thought, wait, did it just chew that twice? Well, it's not your imagination. Some animals actually do chew their food not once, but twice, and there's a really good reason for it. In this video, we'll explore the science behind rumination, which is the fancy name for chewing food twice. We'll look at which animals do it, why they need to do it, and some amazing adaptations that help them digest their food in ways that we can't. Plus, stay till the end, because we'll reveal the unexpected twist that not all animals that appear to ruminate actually do. So, what exactly is a ruminant? Well, ruminants are mammals that have a specialized four-chambered stomach that allows them to digest plant material like cellulose, which is the main component of wood and plant cell walls. This ability is especially useful for animals that eat grass or other fibrous plants. Cows, buffaloes, sheep, goats, deer, and antelopes are all examples of ruminants. Camels, however, are not true ruminants. They belong to a separate group called pseudoruminants because their stomachs have 3 compartments instead of 4, and their digestive process works a little differently. They don't rely on swallowed stones to grind food like birds do, but instead use their specialized multi-chambered stomachs to break down fibrous plants. The word ruminant comes from the Latin word ruminare, which means to chew over again. And that's exactly what ruminant animals do. They bring food back up from their stomachs to their mouths to chew it over again. But why do they need to do this? Well, it's because they often eat fast and swallow their food without chewing it thoroughly. This is especially true when they're in groups. You see, if they chew slowly, they become an easy target for predators, so they need to eat as quickly as possible. However, there is a problem with eating so fast. They may swallow air along with their food, which can cause bloating and discomfort. And when they try to regurgitate the swallowed food to chew it over again, the air stays in their stomachs, causing even more problems. To help prevent this, ruminant animals produce large amounts of saliva. The saliva not only lubricates the food, making it easier to swallow, but it also helps buffer the stomach acids and maintain a stable environment in the rumen. So what happens to the food after it's swallowed? Well, that's when the real magic begins. Once inside the stomach, the food undergoes a series of incredible transformations that allow the animal to extract all the nutrients it needs to stay alive. But how does it work? Ruminants have a stomach with 4 distinct chambers. The first chamber is called the rumen, and it's essentially a giant fermentation vat. It's filled with billions of microbes, including bacteria, fungi, and protozoa, which break down the tough plant material and convert it into more digestible compounds. These microbes produce enzymes that help break down the cellulose in plants, which is a process that human beings cannot carry out on their own. The food spends several hours in the rumen, where the microbes ferment it and partially digest it. The partially digested food, along with some saliva, is then regurgitated back up to the animal's mouth as cud. The animal will chew the cud thoroughly, mixing it with saliva and swallowing it again. The second time around, the food goes back down and enters the second chamber, the reticulum. Here, the food is mixed with water and mucus, which helps lubricate it and make it easier to move through the digestive system. After that, it moves on to the third chamber, the omasum, where water and some minerals are absorbed. Finally, the food reaches the fourth and final chamber, the abomasum. This is the true stomach, and it's similar to the stomach that humans have. Acids and enzymes break down the food completely, and the resulting nutrients are absorbed in the intestines. Now that you know how the process works, let's talk about why it's so important. Well, rumination has allowed herbivores to exploit a virtually limitless source of food, plants. This has enabled animals like cows and sheep to thrive in grasslands around the world and has had a significant impact on the environment. Their grazing habits shape the ecosystems they live in and provide habitat for other animals. Rumination also allows these animals to obtain essential nutrients from plants that humans can't digest. For example, cows can get enough protein from grass because their gut microbes turn cellulose into microbial protein, which the cows can absorb and use to build muscle and other tissues. And those same microbes also synthesize vitamins like B12, which the cows need for a healthy nervous system and red blood cells. Without rumination, these animals wouldn't be able to survive on plants alone. And speaking of the microbes, ruminants have special adaptations to ensure they keep their gut bacteria happy and healthy. And, for example, they often eat slowly and carefully to select the most nutritious plants. They also spend time chewing their cud, which helps to aerate the rumen and provide oxygen to the microbes. Additionally, they regularly regurgitate and re-swallow saliva, which helps regulate the pH of the rumen and keep it hospitable for the bacteria. Let's take a closer look at one of the most famous ruminant animals, the cow. Cows are particularly well adapted for rumination. Their teeth are designed for grinding plants, and their rumen is huge, which gives the microbes a lot of space to grow. Cows also spend a lot of time chewing their cud, which helps them extract all the nutrients they can from their food. But not all ruminant animals have such obvious adaptations. Take the giraffe, for example. Giraffes are ruminants, but they don't have the classic cow-like features. Instead, they have long necks and legs, which are better suited for browsing on high plants. Their rumen is also shaped differently from a cow's, which allows them to consume large amounts of plant material. So why do ruminant animals come in so many different shapes and sizes? Well, it's because rumination is an incredibly versatile adaptation that can evolve independently in different groups of animals. In fact, rumination has evolved at least 3 times in mammals. Once in the ancestors of cows, goats, and deer, again in the ancestors of giraffes and okapi, and yet again in camels and their relatives. But rumination isn't limited to mammals. Birds can also regurgitate food, but in a very different way. For example, pigeons produce a special secretion called crop milk inside their crop, a pouch-like structure used to store food. This crop milk is rich in proteins and fats and is fed to their chicks by regurgitation. This process looks a little like rumination, but it isn't the same because pigeons don't have a 4-chambered stomach or chew cud. Despite this, the fact that birds can regurgitate food shows that this behavior isn't unique to mammals, and that it's a common adaptation that animals use to take care of their young. So to sum up, rumination is an amazing adaptation that allows certain animals to eat tough, fibrous plants and extract all the nutrients they need to survive. It's carried out by a specialized 4-chambered stomach that contains billions of microbes, which break down the plant material and convert it into more digestible compounds. Rumination has enabled animals like cows, sheep, and goats to thrive in grasslands around the world and has had a significant impact on the environment. And while not all animals that appear to ruminate actually do, the behavior is still a fascinating example of how animals have adapted to their environments in countless ways. Now we want to hear from you. Which ruminant animal is your favorite and why? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss more amazing animal facts from us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.